Hello and welcome to our Salesforce United episode, a podcast about Salesforce and people who work with it. Here we discuss engineering discoveries, professional secrets, and careers of our guests. I'm Olga Dmitrieva, a Salesforce software testing engineer, and to my delight, your host.
Hello, my name is Elena Ulyanova. I am a Salesforce enthusiast, Salesforce consultant, and for my pleasure, the host of this Salesforce United podcast.
And today, we continue our series of episodes about people who have been directly involved in the life of the podcast. We have invited Olga Molotsilova as a guest. Ola was a co-host of the episodes for a long time. Ola is a very talented person with various experiences in interacting with Salesforce, such as pre-sales, administration, and now product management. Today, we are excited to delve into Ola's journey and insights in Salesforce, covering the motivations, career progression, and many more. Ola, we are glad to welcome you here today.
Hi, girls. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here today.
Nice to meet you, Olga. And let's start with the first question, actually, the basic of your career in Salesforce. What inspired you to pursue a career in Salesforce?
Sure. Just for our listeners, a little disclaimer. I do not have many years of experience. So maybe for someone, it might sound a little bit childish or not that experienced. However, I'm happy to share my experience, and I hope that it will be useful for all Salesforce trailblazers. As mentioned, when I got in IT, there were many different technologies, and I had luck to work with SAP, Microsoft Dynamics, and Salesforce. And I should say that Salesforce at the time was very accessible, and you didn't need a special background, a technical background to enter this sphere. And all you needed basically was a laptop and good, not even good, just normal internet connection. So also I thought it's quite a cool program and low code, and also it has very great marketing. All these mascots, gamification makes it quite interesting to learn. And the market is very big. It is one of the demanding technologies. So I thought it could be a great career opportunity, but you never know before you try. And after a few months after trying, I saw that it is something that I really enjoy.
It seems that I think that you have done a lot of work, really, and you continue doing it every day. And I'm sure that it hasn't been easy. And could you share, please, how do you stay motivated and organized in your demanding professional life?
I cannot stress enough how health is important. So, staying motivated is nice, but if you're not healthy, nothing else matters. So I would recommend everyone to do some exercises or stretching any activity. This is the first thing, because as I can imagine all of our listeners also work a lot at the laptops, and then even when you're in your mid-20s, the back starts hurting, or your knees, anything. So I would start first with health, and then as for professional tools, working from home, there are lots of distractions. So I personally really like to use Pomodoro technique. It's just working in intervals. For example, you work 25 minutes, then you have 5-minute break, and then you continue 25 minutes more. And I really like using tasks lists, and then checking off the done part is very satisfying. yeah, I also like to use Notion to track my tasks, and also as a personal organizer. This is when it comes to different apps. And as for main motivation, I would say that being in Salesforce, I think, motivates you with all these seasonal releases, release notes, because you need to check what is new, and then you need to stay ahead of the game, so to say. In our very, very fast developing world right now, you can see that every day basically comes something new, and you will just fall behind. I think it's something we all should do if we want to stay in touch with our technologies. So yeah, I think just the time we live in is the greatest motivation.
Great. So you're really motivated to work with Salesforce products, and you even have several Salesforce certificates. So what steps did you take to become a certified Salesforce specialist? And in general, what do you think? Is it really important to have those certificates?
Well, I would start first with what steps do you need to take for anyone. I think I do not say here something new. You just really need to go to Trailhead and check the all the requirements for the certification. Then I hope it's not an ad, but I think Focus on Force is a really great resource when it comes to doing mock-up tests. And obviously, YouTube, you can never underestimate this as a resource. Hearing experience of all the people who already took this certificate is very, very helpful. And yeah, just searching for all the relevant information. Obviously, having experience helps, but if you still don't have experience, and especially if it's your first certificate, all you need to do, I think, is create a developer org. First, try to play around, maybe set up something, do some mock-up project, and then just don't be pressured to do only theory, because you can play around in the org first, get some practical experience, and then it will be easier for you to understand what all the theory means. As for the second question, I think certifications can be especially relevant for people who lack experience. Obviously, you still need relevant experience in the field, but certificates can be can take role of a special proof that you do have knowledge. However, there are different certificates, and some of them are less important than others. So I would encourage everyone first to understand why they need it, because surely it's a nice milestone. It looks great on your LinkedIn profile, but sometimes you spend too much time that you could spend on something relevant for your job, for taking another badge, and it might be useless for people who already have years of experience, and for them maybe it's more interesting to try something out of the sphere. But also, I think right now Salesforce offers great variety of different certificates. So yeah, just not blindly taking certifications, but I think it is important, especially again if you just start your journey.
Thank you very much, Ola. And now let's move from theory to practice, let it say like this. So we know that you perform a Salesforce administrator role in the company you're working in. And could you please share with us what primary responsibilities as a Salesforce administrator you do at your current company?
Sure. Well, I would say in a simple way, it is meeting our Salesforce users' requirements. And it can include so many different things, which are for example, automating processes with flows or Apex triggers, changing page layouts, creating new fields, managing reports, dashboards, managing security through different permissions and sharing rules. But the core responsibility is to understand what is the need of our users, prioritize it, and then implement it. But it includes all of the things that Salesforce offers.
Well, being a Salesforce administrator, it's quite a technical role. You need to know a lot about some technical aspects of how to configure some features, how to make it more useful for the end users. So in your role, how do you balance the technical aspects of Salesforce administration with the project management duties?
I think nowadays it is quite important for almost everyone, if you work in a team at least, to understand the basics of Scrum or any other methodology your company working with. Not even if you do not need to wear any title as a Scrum Master or Project Manager or Business Analyst. It's just very important to understand how the processes work right now. I think we are all going in this direction of multifunctional specialists who are in the cross-functional specialists. But I'm always trying to learn something new, and I was very I was interested in the project management because it allows you to communicate more with people, and it's very important for Salesforce administrator to understand a why behind it, because sometimes you can offer a way better solution if you really understand the need, because sometimes a user might think what they need, but in reality often they don't. They think they know, but most of the times it's not the case, and it is the job of a business analyst or project manager to get this information, and then as a Salesforce administrator you implement it. So it's very useful for any Salesforce administrator to have this ability to get requirements, and also it is very useful for project manager to have this technical background to understand what Salesforce offers to meet this requirement. And for example, do you need to attract some external team, or do you need to buy a third-party solution, or maybe you do an in-house development? So it's kind of very, very connected roles. I think it is very useful experience to have knowledge in both.
Yeah, great. So it's important to find the equilibrium and use it practically, wisely, let it say like this. And following up your practical experience, what has been the most complex challenge you faced in your current roles?
I don't want to complain here, but the worst part is when something isn't working, and then you're looking for a solution, and then you find that it's on ideas.com. So it means that people already stumbled upon it, and there is basically a stopper. So you need to find some workaround, and it is quite annoying, I must say. For example, we've just recently had a big project that involved work orders that currently they were not supporting dynamic pages, and it was really, really a challenge. And it's just right now, in a week, I don't know when you guys hear this podcast, but as of 15th of February, work orders finally will support dynamic forms, and that's just such a great relief for everyone. And sure, already the work has been done, but the way this simple joy that you get, and especially if your friends or your partners are not into Salesforce, they will never understand why you're so happy about such a weird sounded fact like new idea is implemented. And another part, I want to thank all the testers out here, because in my role, I do testing as well before hand it out to our users, our qualified users who do user acceptance testing. All administrators and developers are required to test it themselves. And I must say, it is very hard to find mistakes in your own flow or your own code, because you kind of want to test it the way that it works and not in the way to find something. And I've been struggling with it a lot, and I think it's kind of a detective job to really looking for mistakes. It is challenging, and I think I would prefer to develop something than to look for errors. But I do have an enormous respect for everyone who does this job, and it is quite challenging.
Great. So we spoke about the challenges. Let's speak about the achievements. Actually, I think that the great achievement is already that you jumped into Salesforce, but maybe you can name some project or achievement you're mostly proud about working with Salesforce.
There was one project that we rolled out to a different continent, to the US. And it required for us to actually go to this location. And since COVID, I think it's become less popular to actually travel somewhere. It is growing right now back in popularity, in demand. But I think, the real world trips have seen its decline, and I think it's very, very important to actually talk to people. And the project has become great success. It was very nicely rolled out. It was connected with the case resolutions, and going to the location and actually speaking to people who dealing with these problems, and seeing how a user in Salesforce works. It made me realize, like, as an administrator, you already know all of the features, all of the capabilities, and it wouldn't even come to your mind that, a user might not find this button, or he doesn't know that he can change the view. So seeing how a user actually dealing with the case or with the issue was very, very helpful, and it turned the project in a big success. So I think, however challenging sometimes it is, it should be still a very useful thing sometimes to meet in person and to get things done, not online but in real life.
Oля, you told us so many interesting points, actually. I would like to say that it is always very helpful to receive some kind of advice for a person who's already in this sphere. And could you please give some kind of a recommendation for those who would like to start their career as a Salesforce administrator, or in general, go to Salesforce?
Well, as mentioned before, I think it is very important to start actually playing around. So creating a developer org, doing hands-on challenges and not just reading, because with theory, it's quite difficult to understand what is required or even to understand whether you will like it at all. I think with any technology, you should first try and see for yourself. So obviously, Trailhead, just go there and start developing, start using components and see how the ecosystem is built. It's growing enormously, and surely now it's, I would say, a little bit more complicated because to get in this sphere, because the market is pretty saturated, but nothing is impossible. And also on the positive side, there is more and more information, and also there are more and more people who are willing to share this information. So I think just starting with something and maybe finding a person who inspires you and see how they did it, it could be a great motivation.
Great. So, but except of the person who can guide you or can bring some lights into your current or future learning, probably we can also find some resources like books, which can help to jump to the new technology faster. So can you share a book or resource that can or that has influenced your professional mindset or approach?
Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know how to view it. I'm really, when it comes to learning, I really like to listen and see. So I do use YouTube a lot for that. And I think Salesforce Geek is a very great channel where you can see how the modules are done, how some of the, let's say you see an element in Flow that, like, let's say this transform element that has come out recently. I mean, it's been for a few releases right now, but Salesforce adds more and more functionality to it. And you want to see how it is done, because first thing I think everyone does is go on Salesforce Help and read official documentation. I'm always encouraged to do that. But then for me, it's very useful to go on YouTube and find the creator who shows how they use it. And also, no big secret here, but I really love Salesforce Band website, especially for releases guides where they sum up all the cool new features, but as well, hint, you can go to ideas.com and see what is implemented right now, because sometimes it's quite difficult to find in a huge release node. So there you can see with statuses how the ideas that may be very, very useful for you or very urgent for your company, in which stages they are. And I think so far when it comes to books, I can only recommend for people who are interested in Agile to read a short Agile guide. It's like a small book, and it does cover lots of stuff. And in comparison to a huge PMBOK, it's I think essential for many people who still don't understand the value of stand-ups, or who want to maybe change it and adjust to their company's needs. But when it comes to Salesforce, I do not know any book, but if our listeners do, I also encourage them to share in the comments, and I would be happy to read it as well.
Seems that we have covered all the important topics for today. Oля, thank you so much for joining us. You have a very interesting career story, and it's always intriguing when people share their experience. And we wish you success and mastering new peaks.
Thank you for inviting me. It was really a jam to talk to you. And for all our listeners, thank you for hearing this podcast. It's always been a very precious thing for me, hosting it. And I'm so happy to be here today. And again, never get dismotivated or discouraged, because I think nowadays, with all the modern technologies, one can learn practically anything if they put enough effort into it and just stay persistent, because lots of rejection might discourage you at first, obviously, but if you stay persistent, however corny it sounds, you will get there.
Thank you, Olga, for the conversation, for sharing your thoughts and experience, and thank you, dear listeners, for being with us. As always, we will be very happy to receive any comments, questions, or ideas. And if you like the podcast, please rate it on the platform and share with friends. Till very soon, until the next interesting podcast, stay tuned.
Until then, keep trailblazing. Goodbye.